Today, folks, we're talking about how much money I've made off this YouTube channel in 2020, being primarily focused on the finance niche where I kind of document my financial independence, retire early journey, talk about dividend stocks, my favorite growth stocks. Any of you OGs know what I'm talking about here. And this year has been a wild year on many fronts. As many of you may be aware, I completely lost my career in March as a full-time magician performer. And we all know if you're in the entertainment industry, you might as well be in a bloody depression right now. And I think Vegas speaks enough for all of us. And I'm just not willing to take the investment capital, the time to adjust my entire show, because my show is based on being interactive and can't do anything interactive anymore. And I don't feel like, spending the money, spending all that time to start doing Zoom shows when I've only really been offered 2 or 3 Zoom shows this entire year. So this has been my second year on YouTube, and this was the year where I said I got to find something else to do. So I completely dedicated my time to you guys, at which I have to say thank you so much for this incredible journey, which going into New Year's, I'm going to do a breakdown of everything that happened this year. We're going to do a fun little compilation. But for this video, more specifically, I wanted to do a cut and dry about how much money I made on YouTube month over month to try and share these insights and this knowledge that some of you may find beneficial to your own personal financial journeys here, guys. And to kick this off, I put everything down on a spreadsheet. I'm going to answer your concerns about the sponsored video, show you how much they're paying me. But to kick this off, guys, I'm going to do the combined amount month over month between AdSense and sponsored deals just to see the growth of what the hell happened this year. And on this spreadsheet, starting at the very top, guys, going into January, the first real experience I had with YouTube income, I only made $169. I mean, you got to think that's about $3,000 invested at just around 5%, right? I mean, that seems pretty decent until you realize I'm making 6 to 7 videos a week that take me about 3 to 5 hours a day to make. So 169, not justifiable, but in January, we weren't in a pandemic yet. I still had a lot of contracts for my full-time career. I had $10,000 worth of work lined up leading into March. But anyways, hitting into February, $217. So we're seeing a little bit of a ramp up. It's nice. YouTube doesn't have a ceiling. Gives you a little bit of motivation to keep grinding. Leading into March, when shit really hit the fan here, guys, this is when things just went crazy for me. I only made $263 in AdSense off YouTube. So at least we're still seeing the continued ramp up, right? And this is where I was like, my mind was blown. And again, when you got to subscribe to this channel if you're new, guys, because when I do the compilation video, you're going to see my reaction to the pandemic when it hit and just how I felt. It was a pretty wild, emotional ride. But anyways, moving into April, $312, and we'll kind of ramp through this until things get exciting. So moving into May, my birthday month, $294. We actually saw a pullback in AdSense. I started making less, but you got to keep in mind during this period of time when we actually look at my AdSense income, you're going to see that the amount YouTube was paying went down by like half. So the fact that I was still able to make around $300 through this was pretty incredible because I was getting paid 50% less from YouTube. Going into June, $487. July, $484. So hey man, $500, almost $500 a month. Hey, that's not bad. It's not bad, right? But then this is where things become utterly life-changing, baby. This is when YouTube starts becoming a full-time career for me, as August hits a all-time high income of $3,757. My God, this is when sponsors clearly start getting incorporated here, guys. And again, this is just YouTube. This is none of my other income, just YouTube and sponsorships related to the YouTube channel. So moving into September, oh my God, $5,206. I'm already making more than I pretty much was able to make off my magic career, which is stupid incredible. But keep in mind here, guys, this does not include any of my expenses, because if you go back to January, that $169 I made didn't even cover my phone and my internet expenses. So you got to keep in mind this is before tax and expenses, because if you add that up, it changes these numbers pretty drastically, but still incredible income generator here, right? So going into October, it pulls back a little bit, but we were still generating $2,048, which again, if I can make anything over $1,000, that was the end goal for my YouTube channel. That was like the holy grail for me. I'm like, if I can just grind this out, get to the point of 1,000 a month, I mean, I would be sleeping a lot more comfortably at night. But this, again, leading into November, life-changing stuff here, guys. I made $7,193. And then finally, for the month of December, even though this month's not over yet, I kind of generalized the number based off income that still needs to come in that I'm owed, plus the money I already made, is around $7,559, bringing the grand total for the year of 2020 to $27,000. $989 for me busting out a video 6 to 7 days a week for the entire year is not terrible. It is not terrible, folks, but keep in mind, most of that was made in the latter half of this year, and it still isn't including taxes or expenses. But nonetheless, let's start divvying this up and kind of nitpick through it, because I'm going to talk about sponsors, some of your concerns, but let's start with the AdSense side of it. How much did I make just off YouTube AdSense? Throughout the entire year, let's talk about the CPM first, because we all know the stock market finance niche pays some of the highest paid revenue, which the CPM is how much they pay per 1,000 views, and I get about 22 bucks right now, which is pretty good actually. But going back, we can see, guys, going through the pandemic, when it hit right around March, we can see those CPMs dropped literally in half to about 12 to 15 bucks on average, which dropped by about 30%, maybe not as much as half, but on the worst of it, you're down to like 14 bucks per 1,000. Like, it was pretty bad, guys, and that's when my YouTube AdSense money kind of just flatlined. But nonetheless, in total received was $6,719, and the month of December isn't exactly over yet. Now, this is going to be a good baseline going into next year, because my ad revenue is actually getting to the point right now where it's becoming a sustainable part-time job, guys, because we can see, you know, through the last month here, I've been making anywhere from 30 to 50, even some days 60 bucks a day off making these videos. And you got to think, if these videos are taking me, you know, anywhere from 3 to 6 hours a day to make, well, we're talking about almost minimum wage income at this point, which is starting to get to the equivalent of almost $1,000 a month, which is making me feel incredible that I'm so blessed to have you guys that put up with my horrible sponsorship deal incomes, which I don't think is horrible, and we're going to talk about that right now actually. But before we talk about the income specifically, let's address some of your concerns, because on my last sponsorship video, oh my god, did you guys have a lot to say about this one. And I'm going to try and find a better balance, because obviously I don't want to offend people, I don't want people leaving my channel, and I'm grateful for anyone that puts up with the sponsorship stuff. But just reading this, David B says, as someone who's followed you from the beginning, my advice would be to be careful with the amount of paid stock pick videos you start to incorporate into your channel as it grows. I understand the extra income source is nice, but you will lose credibility with the investing community rather quick. Cheers. With all my respect, I don't trust companies who pay to promote their stock, plus investing in military businesses who make products that, you know, kill innocent people. Nah, I will pass. Another one, you're losing me with all these sponsored stock picks. Just to break my heart a little more, Kyle, I've been following you from the beginning and really like and appreciate your opinion, your stock picks, and why you like them. Unfortunately, these paid videos are glorified pumping. So let me comment first on how I feel about these sponsored videos, how much I'm selling my soul for, because obviously it is a substantial amount of income, guys. Again, AdSense, 800 to 1,000 bucks at this point a month doesn't equate to the $7,000 in income that I'm getting paid. As I told you guys, these sponsors pay anywhere from like literally $1,500 a video to as low as around $700 a video. But if I can do 1 or 2 of those a week, like, we're talking about a stupid amount of money here, right? And I don't want to do it to the point where you guys are getting frustrated, which you are. And I'm going to try and pull it back to a scale where maybe I'm only doing, I want to say maybe 2 to 3 of them a month, and really kind of scope them out. Because this year has been so uncertain for me, I wanted to essentially take what I could, and I did, as you could tell with the income that I made. But these companies are not terrible companies, guys. I interviewed the CEO of the very good company, and Jeremy from Financial Education picked that up. That was a paid sponsor deal. Starco Brands, an interview that was a paid sponsor deal for a guy that is likely going to be a billionaire in the next coming years. I mean, these sponsored doors are opening me up to people that I would have never met otherwise. And to think that they're just terrible companies because they're paying to promote themselves just show me the lack of understanding, and not to be rude, but the lack of understanding that you guys have around how the stock market works in the first place. When you watch CNN and Bloomberg, you think those guys just knocked on the door and showed up. No. They paid to do those interviews. A lot of them paid to do those interviews on those shows. And just to throw some really easy examples, MindMed is paying YouTubers right now to interview JR, and I haven't been able to get that deal, and I have people reaching out for me, but they are doing paid promotion, guys. Tesla once did paid promotions to promote their stock to raise capital. Apple once paid money to promote their stock. And what are these guys supposed to do? Go on the street and beg for money? The stock market is a place for them to raise capital, guys. In fact, the one sponsored company I work with stated that more than 90% of the sponsored deals they did over the year were actually trading higher from the time that they got the deal with the company. So, I mean, and it could come into play with the sponsored promotive aspect of it, you know, driving the stock up, but that's another investment style in and of itself, guys. finding growth companies that have good sponsorships behind them that are, you know, pushing the growth of the stock. It's a symbiotic relationship that you kind of got to find a balance for, because again, I don't want to offend you guys and try to ballet my way through this for you guys and try and figure it out. I'm gonna leave this video here for you guys, but I'm not done, because Christmas is around the corner, and because of you guys, and the fact that I've been able to turn my entire life around here, because again, my portfolio tanked 30% in March. I lost $10,000 worth of work. It was terrible. And now it's the turnaround story, the rags to riches. I've made over 6 figures this year. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. So in light of that, we are giving some money away to the people that have supported me so graciously. Me and my business partner, Matt Money, have decided that we're going to give $500 US away, and we're going to do it to the people that have basically supported us. So if you've ever bought a product, whether it was from the Chart Master, whether you're subscribed to the Passive Income Educator, you talked to us in our WhatsApp group, we are going to take all of those names. Literally over 1,000 people have bought products from us this year, and we are going to draw names out of that. But there's a caveat. You have to be subscribed to our live stream channel, which is the Passive Income Educator. So if you are subscribed to that channel, you're going to have a chance to win $500. Now, we're not sure how we're going to divvy up the $500. We might give 5 people $100, 2 people $250. We're not exactly 100% certain. You can join us live Christmas bloody day, guys, this next Friday, when we're going to do these giveaways. We're going to celebrate the year together, you know, talk finance, talk stocks, hang out with you guys. So feel free to come over there. But in light of all of this, stay cool, stay awesome, and I can't wait to catch you tomorrow.